Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Thursday morning. Again, a much quieter start to our Thursday compared to what we were dealing with yesterday when we had some strong thunderstorms kind of move through Lincoln and parts of southeastern Nebraska. I think, again, much quieter conditions expected today, but hot and humid conditions expected as we head through our Thursday and over the next really probably 48 hours or so before we see some cooler weather arrive into the upcoming weekend. So jumping right into it. It is Thursday, though. That means we're going to start with the drought monitor. Latest drought monitor was released just a few minutes ago. And again, this is what it looked like a month ago. And again, you could see a good chunk of the state covered with some sort of drought conditions. We've really seen a lot of improvement over the course of the last month. So that's what it looked like. Again, if you go back kind of the first week of July, if you go back to what it looked like last week, you can see we had made some significant improvements. Still had areas of drought across the western half of the state and kind of along the southern sections of the state, but the drought monitor released this morning again saw some more areas of significant improvement. And you'll notice here as we go from last week to this week, if you look at the areas of moderate drought, especially across portions of south central into southeastern Nebraska, that's where we saw a lot of reduction in our drought conditions. So still have some abnormally dry conditions kind of in south central, southeastern Nebraska, and even still some moderate drought across portions of Lancaster County into Cass and Otoe County up towards the Omaha metro. Less, though. And again, that is a good thing. And again, this does not factor in any of the moisture that we had yesterday morning. Again, the drought cutoff, the data cutoff time is at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. So again, that doesn't factor in anything that we had yesterday. So still have a few small areas of severe drought, kind of south central, southwestern Nebraska and across parts of the Panhandle, but much improved over the course of the last several weeks. And again, so this is the change. Again, those areas in light green saw one category of drought improvement. Again, so in this case, a lot of areas going from moderate drought to just abnormally dry conditions. We did have kind of one spot there in the Sandhills that did get a little bit worse, but again, for the most part, we were seeing improving drought conditions across the state. So if you look at the drought time series over the course of the last year, again, just a few months ago, beginning of May, that's kind of when we saw our peak in terms of severe drought across the state. Had probably about 60% of the state covered with severe drought conditions. But this summer, again, we've seen some timely rain. Some parts of the state have seen some very heavy rain. Here in Lincoln, we're still well short. But again, a lot of the other parts of the state have seen a lot of good moisture. So we've gone from about, say, around 60% down to just about 3% of the state under any severe drought. You have about a 20% of the state under moderate drought and about 30% of the state under some sort of abnormally dry conditions, but almost half the state now. Again, it hasn't been that close for almost a year. Almost half the state is drought-free now, so then that is good news. We do have some additional rain chances to talk about here as we head into the upcoming weekend. If we look at Lincoln specifically, our departure from normal, this is rolling 12 months. Last month, July, we finally saw above-average precipitation. That was the first time since last November that we'd seen above-average precipitation. So, again, so far this month, with the rain that we had yesterday at the airport, again, I know the airport only saw 49 hundredths. I think a lot of other areas across town saw upwards of an inch, maybe a little bit more than an inch, but the Lincoln Airport official observation station had 49 hundredths. So at the airport so far, about the first week of August, we're about 7 hundredths above average. So, again, right about where we should be. So August, July, we're a little bit above average by about 3/4 of an inch. But you go back, you look at, the spring and the summer, early summer, we were below normal by quite a bit. And again, even last winter, below normal, but not by a ton. So again, it's just kind of been this nagging, kind of at least a little bit below average for the last several months. So if you look at the rolling 12-month departure from normal, we're about 7 inches below where we should be in terms of our liquid precipitation. So we still need some more, but again, that's why we still have some areas of moderate drought here in the county and across the Lincoln metro. If you look at nationally, drought monitor, again, you get east of the Rockies, things are pretty good. Again, we've seen some drought reduction across parts of South Texas. They still have some, but again, they've seen some improvement in the drought conditions. You get into the desert Southwest and across the western third of the country, they still have quite a bit of drought. But again, it is again that kind of time of year for them. Again, they're waiting for some of that monsoonal moisture to put a dent in some of those drought conditions. National drought status time series over the course of the last year. Again, seeing fairly good conditions. Less than half the country under some sort of drought. Which, again, you have to go back more than a year since you had a percentage that high. So, again, good news when it comes to the drought. Bad news is it's going to be turning hot and humid, though, into the day today and into the day tomorrow. I think, again, today we have some heat advisories for across parts of the state. I think tomorrow we might see more widespread heat advisories across the state, including here in Lincoln and Lancaster County. And then we are keeping an eye on some chances for rain as we head into the weekend and into early parts of the week next week. So for today, we have some heat advisories. Heat advisories are kind of weird. They vary from kind of office to office and region to region in terms of what's the threshold. I believe here for eastern Nebraska, it's 105 degrees. Feels like temperature has to be above 105 degrees. So again, I don't think we're quite going to get there today. I think we're still going to probably see feels like temperatures around the triple digits, if not into the triple digits, but not quite high enough for heat advisory criteria. I think they have a chance to meet the heat advisory criteria for those areas in central and kind of southwestern Nebraska where they could see heat advisories or heat index values, again, 102, 103 degrees or so. So again, we have some heat advisories across portions north central into southwestern Nebraska. Those start this afternoon, run through 8 p.m. this evening. If you look at the future feels like temperatures by noon today, again, you can see things warming up by this afternoon when we see our peak heat index values. It's right around 100 degrees for most of the state. So again, one of those afternoons where if you're going to be outside, make sure you're just kind of taking care of yourself, making sure you're drinking plenty of water, taking breaks inside in the air conditioning if you can. As we head toward late tonight, by 10 o'clock, still have those feels like temperatures into the 80s to even near 90 in southeastern Nebraska. I think even hotter conditions head our way as we head into Friday afternoon by the noon hour. Already seeing those heat indexes into the mid and upper 90s in southeastern Nebraska by the afternoon. I think especially for a lot of eastern Nebraska, up to around 100 to 105 degrees. So again, typical kind of August heat and humidity, but again, just one of those days we want to exercise a little bit of caution if we're going to be spending an extended period of time outside. But thankfully, into the weekend, we're going to see a frontal boundary kind of settle across the area. That will bring in those rain chances. We'll also bring in some cooler temperatures as well. We also have this morning a dense fog advisory for parts of the western half of the state. This runs for about another hour and change or so. Again, widespread areas of dense fog being reported across these areas this morning where visibility is down to basically zero. Again, once you kind of get west of the Tri-Cities, you're looking at quarter mile, half mile visibility for a lot of those areas. So again, if traveling, again, just give yourself extra space, extra following distance if you run into some of those areas of dense fog. Just something to watch out for. Lincoln Weather Almanac, these are numbers from yesterday, pretty close to where we should be for early August. 87 and 66 were your high and low. 89 and 66 are our normal high and low. And again, you can see 4900s yesterday at the Lincoln Airport for the month, 6400s for the year. We're still just under 14 inches of moisture, which again is more than 5 inches below normal for our liquid precipitation. If you look at low temperatures this morning, mid to upper 60s to low 70s, so a little bit above average for many areas. The Lincoln Tempest stations, again, across the metro, seeing lows this morning in the lower 70s. And right now, if you look at sky views from across the state, again, some sunshine, a few clouds, and again, a lot of fog, especially as you get across, again, the western third of the state. You can see there the camera view in North Platte showing areas of very dense fog. Here in Lincoln, though, again, we are seeing some hazy skies out there, still dealing with some areas of wildfire smoke drifting through the region. Mid-70s for temperatures. Dew point, though, into the upper 60s. Again, this is likely going to be into the upper 60s and 70s as we head through the day today. Just a light south wind at around 5 miles an hour. On the Tempest stations, those current readings are generally in the mid to upper 70s. Statewide, we have temperatures running the range from the mid 60s to the mid 70s. Warm spot right now is here in southeastern Nebraska. Beatrice is at 77, 76 in Hebron, 75 for Falls City, Lincoln, and as well as Omaha. Dew point numbers again remain pretty high out there. And again, unfortunately, going to continue to stay pretty high over the coming days, adding to the heat and the humidity. Winds are light, generally out of the south at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Satellite radar picture here in southeastern Nebraska, much quieter, especially compared to what we were dealing with yesterday. Statewide, again, not a whole lot happening in terms of any precipitation. If we look at the visible satellite imagery, again, we can see those areas of dense fog across the western half of the state. We can also see, again, a pretty strong complex of thunderstorms pushing across parts of south central, southeastern Iowa. But again, here at home, across the state, it's really that fog. Once you get kind of west of Kearney, that's our biggest impact early this morning. If you go back to the satellite radar picture, zoom out, look at a regional view. Again, we can see that little cluster of storms there across portions of southern Iowa, northern Missouri. Otherwise, just a few scattered showers across much of the Midwest. Nationally, again, pretty quiet this morning, and some showers down in the Gulf. We have a couple stronger thunderstorms up in Montana, up into the Dakotas, but otherwise, again, things for the most part are pretty quiet. If you look at the weather alerts, again, we have heat advisories stretching from portions of North Texas into South Dakota. We have high fire danger for parts of Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Nevada. Extreme heat warnings there for portions of Arizona into Southern California. Here at home, again, we talked about them. We have those heat advisories as well as those dense fog advisories for the day today. We check out Skycast. Again, the fog this morning should continue to burn off, and I think by the afternoon we should be looking at mostly sunny skies across much of the state, and I think generally dry conditions for much of the state as well, but it will be hot and it will be humid out there as we head through the day today into this evening. Again, warm and humid conditions, but dry conditions. Then as we head overnight tonight, again, look for mostly clear, quiet conditions, and then more hot and humid, breezy at times weather as we head into the day on Friday as well. I think on Friday we will see a chance late afternoon into the evening for a few thunderstorms that could be on the strong to severe side, especially kind of for northern and western sections of the state. And then as we head Friday into Saturday, that frontal boundary kind of settles across the area. That will bring in those chances for showers and thunderstorms to the region, and potentially some strong to severe thunderstorms into the region for us as well on Saturday into Saturday night. So that is something that we'll keep an eye on. So precipitation potential over the next several days, not a ton, but we're looking at, again, some widespread, maybe 10th, quarter-inch amounts of rainfall over the next several days. We'll keep an eye on this. I think we could see some higher amounts as we head into the weekend, into early parts of next week. If you look at the 7-day precipitation potential, again, you can see some of those higher amounts expected just off to our east across portions of Iowa, northern Missouri, over into Illinois, Wisconsin. They could be looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of rainfall over the course of the next week. Here in Nebraska, again, you're looking at the forecast next week, kind of dries things up a little bit as we head into the week next week. So I think our best rain chances will come into the weekend and into the very early parts of the week next week. So severe weather outlook for the day today. Greatest threat is going to be across the northern plains, specifically across portions of North Dakota where they have an enhanced risk for severe weather. That's 3 out of 5 on the severe weather threat scale. Again, we have a marginal risk in parts of the Sandhills, northwestern Nebraska, but really not expecting much in the 10-11 coverage area in the way of severe weather as we head through the day today. For the day tomorrow, we do have a marginal risk that covers a good chunk of the coverage area. Lincoln, Lancaster County not included in that. Slight and enhanced risk as you head further to the north. So again, a few stronger thunderstorms can't be ruled out Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Friday night. And then on Saturday, as that frontal boundary kind of settles across the area, that brings that severe threat into south central, southeastern, east central sections of the state, where we could see a few isolated stronger storms with some damaging wind gusts and potentially some larger hail as well. So if we zoom in, take a closer look, statewide view, again, the fog kind of lifts as we head through the morning. I think by the afternoon, mostly sunny, mainly dry, hot, humid, again, a bit breezy at times as we head through the day today. Our in-house model, again, not bullish on that thunderstorm chance for western Nebraska as we head through the day today. Into the day tomorrow, again, mostly sunny, hot, humid, breezy conditions. Those feels like temperatures well into the triple digits, especially for eastern and southeastern Nebraska. You can start to see those blue arrows, though, in north central Nebraska by Friday at 5 o'clock. That's that frontal boundary beginning to kind of stall out across the area, so we'll keep an eye on that. And it's along that frontal boundary that we could see some thunderstorms Friday evening into Friday night. Again, our in-house model, not all that bullish on that activity, but not going to lie to you, again, the models, both our in-house model and other publicly available models, they've really been struggling over the past couple days with the thunderstorm chances, so we'll just need to keep an eye on it. As far as actual air temperatures, highs today, coolest readings will be in the northeastern corner of the state, where it'll be in the upper 80s. We're going to go low 90s here in Lincoln, as well as in Grand Island, Hastings, and Kearney, but triple digits across the Panhandle and potentially down into southwestern Nebraska. So again, very hot in those locations today, and again, humid as well. So again, heat advisories are in place, again, as heat index values will likely be into the triple digits for those areas. Low temperatures tonight will be warm, anywhere from the upper 50s, low 60s in the far west to the low to mid 70s here in eastern Nebraska. I think our hottest day in terms of actual air temperatures will be on Friday, 96 in Lincoln, 95 in Grand Island, 97 in North Platte. Again, triple digits for Imperial and McCook. You can see just a touch cooler for the northern and far western sections of the state as that frontal boundary slowly works its way into the area. And then as we head into the weekend, again, it'll start out warm, 50s, 60s, 70s Saturday morning, but by Saturday afternoon, we see those temperatures fall back closer to normal for this time of year generally into the middle 80s for much of the state. And then into Sunday morning, again, it stays fairly mild with mid to upper 50s to mid to upper 60s for lows. And then Sunday afternoon, it's lower to middle 80s across much of the state. And the cooler weather will continue into Monday with lows mid 50s to mid 60s and highs Monday afternoon, generally in the low to mid 80s across much of the 10-11 coverage area. But past that, Tuesday again next week, again, first day back for LPS. Right now, we're looking at above average temperatures returning into the upper 80s. Small chance for some moisture, I think Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Again, our best chances for rain will come Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday of early next week. 10-day forecast for select cities across the state. Again, you can see very hot, very humid conditions expected both today and tomorrow. A little bit cooler into the weekend, and then things kind of pick back up a little bit with above-average temperatures expected through a good chunk of the week next week. Those dew point numbers, again, will continue to remain pretty high for us over the next week to 10 days as well. May see a few breaks kind of here and there in the humidity for some spots of the state, but I think again, going to continue to see some of those hot, humid conditions for much of the next week to 10 days. Rain chances, again, will be highest this weekend into early next week. Once we get into the work week next week, those rain chances, I think, become much more isolated and spotty. So, again, widespread moisture, again, really not expected through much of the week next week. Long-range outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center continue to favor above-average temperatures. This takes us August 14th through August 20th. So, again, staying on the warmer side during that time frame. And then the precipitation outlook, again, yesterday kind of showed below-average precipitation being favored across much of the region. Today, kind of a little bit more diffuse, closer to normal, with above average precipitation favored for kind of the northern plains and up into the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes region. So today, again, the big story is going to be the heat and the humidity. Those heat advisories are in place. So again, it's fairly typical for this time of year, but just exercise a little bit of caution if you're going to be spending an extended period of time outside today. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. Again, as always, hope everyone stays cool out there today and for the day tomorrow. Make sure you keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of the latest forecast updates. Until next time, hope everyone has a nice Thursday.